But I'm also equally saying we've put rocket boosters up to make sure that we get there.
Oh, Mrs. How can Angela Rayner really build 1.5 million new social homes? Now, that was asked by Lib-Dems MP for Newbury Lee Dillon in the Housing, Communities and Local Government Committee meeting on the 7th of January 2025.
Just want to come in on build-out rates, really, and just look, I absolutely support your ambition for 1.5 million new homes, and I want to see us build more, and I wish you all the success in achieving it. I don't see any evidence that suggests that we will hit that target by the end of this Parliament. I've got a strategic site, we've got an emerging local plan. The planning inspector has accepted that the build-out rate, there will be no completions until 2030-31, and that will be 60 a year. Because of that, the inspector has now required smaller sites to go into the local plan because they can be built out quicker, but won't have the infrastructure gain that a strategic site has. And so that's just one example and will be replicated across the country. And so if you're going to be lower on your housing completions at the beginning of the Parliament, to get to that 1.5 million, you'll have to build more at the end of the Parliament. And then you'll need the workforce to be able to build that as well. And I just haven't seen a clear enough explanation, to be honest with you, from the government on how we will get to that 1.5 million, apart from it being an aspirational target.
I think, like I say, there's a number of things we've done, like the New Homes Accelerator to unblock sites. There's been issues around nutrient neutrality and nature offsetting, which again, we're coming forward with the planning and infrastructure bill later, in the spring to make sure that we can address some of those issues as well. We have announced additional funding for construction hubs to make sure that we've got young people that need employment, and I believe that we can match that within the construction sector and working with the Department for Education to deliver that, and also the Employment Department as well. We've been working with Liz on how we can deliver that as well through the job centres and the DWP. So there is things that I think we are doing that will deliver that. There is simplifying the planning rules, which most of the developers say to me is that we're stuck in this merry-go-round. As I say, it can take 7, 8, you pick a number, and therefore we don't get those sites unlocked. So I think the work that we're doing now, we've also, the frustration also has been that has been put back to us is around housing associations don't have the money, and the stuff we're doing on remediation around how can they release capital to come in on a 106 for these developments. We've again been looking at that to support housing associations and councils. We've given them the opportunity to keep their right to buy receipts, which will help them to deliver.
And I support all of what you're saying on that, but that's all still got to have time to go through the process. Then you've still got to get planning application secured and then build the sites out. And you've got four and a half years.
I know, but we are literally simplifying that whole process and putting more investment in. So that I acknowledge your point, and if we look at where we are today and what we inherited, but I'm also equally saying we've put rocket boosters up to make sure that we get there.
Now, the reason why I found this interesting was because a couple of months ago I was out with a friend who's worked in construction for most of his working life, as far as I can remember. And I spoke to him about this because I think it's definitely a fantastic idea, and I do hope they manage to do it, but it's a bit of a tough challenge, isn't it? So I asked him if it would be possible in the time allocated. And the first thing he said was, I really hope they can do it, but I cannot see it because they said we're crying out for extra hands, he said, and we've got loads of vacancies. So at the moment, I'm in the same bracket as Lee Dillon. I'm not sure that they can do it. But I also a bit of a pragmatic where I think if they can get near that challenge, say they got to not far from 1 million, wouldn't you say that's a bit of a success? I think it would be. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you like everything House of Commons and Select Committee meetings, like and subscribe, and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.